And we are live. Welcome, welcome. And I want to tell you guys, thank you for coming. Check this out, and we'll be right back. Short and sweet. That's all you need. You get his name, you get my name, and you know it's the Culp McNiner or McNiner and Culp. Today we are streaming on all three platforms. We don't always do it, but today we're having a lot of fun. We have our special guest, DarwinsRaven Levi. I love saying his name. It's a lot of fun. His name is Levi, and you can see he's a Raven fan. So boy, oh boy, we are in for it tonight. How's everybody doing tonight?
Thanks for having me on, man. Thanks for having me on.
Well, seems like we might have lost David for a second. Well, he'll be back. No fear at all. I think this might be him.
Awesome. Yeah, this game, honestly, guys, I don't know if y'all saw that stat line they've been talking about. This might literally, I'm no joking on my Twitter when I posted it, one of the best games in the past 16 years. Since they kept the stat. The stat goes all the way back against the undefeated Patriots and the undefeated Colts, Brady versus Manning, that long ago. DVOA is a stat that kind of analyzes how good both teams are and how good the matchup's going to be. And like I said, this is the highest DVO rating in 16 years. So, sorry. Can't accept excitement.
No, that's awesome. This is a very big and anticipated matchup. One, you have a new quarterback since probably the biggest game that we've ever played between our two franchises, that Super Bowl. And shout out to you guys. You guys got the ring. It still hurts. It does. I'm not gonna lie, but we have a good opportunity possibly to see you guys again. And if I'm correct, we've played I think a total of 7 times. I don't know if that's including the Super Bowl, but we are 2-5 versus you guys. You guys are 5-2. Our last meeting, you guys beat us. The meeting before, we got the dub. And our first meeting, we got the W. So this is for people who pay attention. The Niners, the Ravens, they don't always play every team every year. And sometimes it takes a couple years to get back to that one team that you really want to beat again, right? So the Ravens are that team on my schedule. I usually want to say, oh boy, I'm looking forward to the game. I want to win, but I'm not looking forward to the game. It's always a hard game, if that makes sense. I don't ever want to go into a game feeling we are not going to win or not feel confident. But there's always those games that we don't play good against this team. So you are that team, Darwin.
And Lamar's got that record now. I think now extended to 19-1 under John Harbaugh against NFC teams. Added on the Cardinals and the Seahawks to that total earlier this year. I know y'all count down the Bird teams, though. Y'all have had a great history this season against the Bird teams.
Oh man, oh boy! But you are right. That 17-1, 18-1, 19-1. I heard somewhere at the beginning of the season. I think he played like 2 more teams. So your quarterback, the one who everybody was trying to get this offseason. We were hoping you guys were going to somehow, say, you're asking for too much money, man, kick rocks. Well, that didn't happen. And you guys stuck with Lamar. And the first time and the last time we played you was 2019. And the game was within 3 points. So I can't say that we're a better team than we were in 2019, and I can't say that your team was a better team in 2019. I think right now, if you compare both teams, you would be happy to say we're rooting for the 2019 team or the 2020 team.
I would weirdly almost say both teams on both sides are better than those teams. Honestly, the explosive firepower of the Seahawks is, between McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo, Ayuk. Trent Williams is going to be a Hall of Fame offensive lineman, and your right guard is playing phenomenal as well this season. The Seahawks honestly are firing on all cylinders. But on the opposite side, this Ravens defense, don't get me wrong, we had Ed and Ray. But this Ravens defense surrendering only like 14 points, number 1 in the league in points, and allowing the least amount of yards per play, which is going to make this that much more of an interesting matchup because, like, case in point, I did my Pro Bowl voting the other day. You got to put Ayuk in there. It's only about 50 targets and breaking 1,000 yards. His yards per play number right now, absolutely through the roof. Most other wide receivers approaching that yardage are about 80 receptions. So 30 receptions more than what he has, basically. So you got to give credit where credit's due there.
Most definitely. I agree with that. And maybe I didn't word it correctly, but I would say that the 2019 team, everybody can be very proud of their team.
Oh, yeah.
Both sides. And the 2023 team, everybody can be very, very proud of. I think there's a couple players that we've added, or maybe lost, but both teams, respectively, in 2019 had a legitimate chance to go to the Super Bowl. And now we're sitting there again in 2023. And you were the one who brought it up. And I thank you because I did make an intro for it, a little video, a cool thing. If you guys don't know, the Super Bowl logos, there's a color theory, there's a color conspiracy. This year, it's favoring us. David, what do you got? I know me and Levi, we sit here and talk for a long time.
Well, all time the Ravens are 5-2 against us, right? So, and we play at least 2 times in the next 2 years in the regular season. So we got a chance to get closer if we can win those games. If folks. I'm honestly expecting a dogfight here, and I don't know if you guys saw that TikTok video. One of your defensive backs was saying we feel disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
they feel disrespected,
video, yeah. But at the end, I thought I heard him call the 49ers frauds. I was like,
no,
did I hear that right? And then I listened to it again. I was like, I heard that right. Like, oh boy.
I haven't. I know which one you're talking about. They're talking about the Ravens. This is only the second time the Ravens have been underdogs coming into a game in the season. And he did say he felt disrespected. I don't know if I truly share that mentality because, of course he's saying that they feel like they're the best team in football. The Niners, of course, are making a good statement. I don't know if he called them frauds. Now I got to go double check myself. But that would be quite something.
Right at the end, it's like the last thing he says. So you really got to listen and pay attention there.
Okay.
But I was like, I watched it again to make sure that my ears weren't deceiving me.
It's going to be an interesting one if they did. That's for sure. Not a fan of that level of smack talking.
Well, you might have a bit of an advantage if Armstead and Hargrave aren't playing.
And that actually, I meant to ask that. How is your injury report looking?
They haven't practiced. It's Thursday. They haven't practiced. Still got one more day. You never know, right?
Are there any other players notable on the injury report for today for the 49ers? I know today was a good day for the Ravens. Zay Flowers, full participant today. Basically, if I'm not mistaken, the only person not practicing today was OBJ due to illness, second straight day. And, of course, Jalen Armour-Davis dealing with a concussion. But the Ravens are getting some other players back healthy, which is pretty exciting.
Ooh, so our linebacker 3, Oren Burks, didn't practice, which we have a capable backup. I don't think that's a big deal. But yeah, Hargrave Armstead, wide receiver Dwan Jennings, our big slot wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He's in concussion protocol. So
and
that's
I've seen a little bit about him.
And full participations are starting right guard and the corner Lenore that got his ribs injured last game.
And that's the one I'm keeping a big eye on, Lenore. I think previously in this the season, he had like 294 snap streak without allowing a touchdown, which was like leading the NFL at one point. I don't know if that got broke, but he's been playing.
Hey, a lot of people, he's underrated. A lot of people don't give him enough credit.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point in time during the season where he was out playing the guy we signed in free agency, Javarius Ward. And Bryant, I, and a couple other guys on a show we were talking about it. We're like, he's our best corner right now. And
Oh yeah.
He definitely he is good. You know, he's a 5th round pick, which is something we have a history on. You know, George Kittle. There's actually a couple guys on other teams that were 5th round picks that we let go, like DJ Reed's with the Jets. That's a corner.
Actually having a really good year too, as well.
Yes, yeah, but I mean, there's some young guys too we have that we picked late that we haven't seen yet. But like Juwan Jennings, a 7th round pick, you know, and it seems like, I don't know how your team is drafting, but it seems like we do pretty good late in the draft, and the early picks are kind of, you know, we got like Debo and Fred Warner.
Baltimore has
Ayuk.
A pretty good history. You know, we've always historically built our team through the draft. Never been a big free agent destination. You know, even getting Odell here costed $13 million plus a void year. You know, so Baltimore's always had to draft well. Fun fact I came across, guys, against your offense. One of the big things that Shanahan's offense is doing right now is creating miscommunications. And they talk about one of the examples, McCaffrey's 41-yard touchdown against the Arizona Cardinals. The Niners use pre-snap motion nearly 80% of the time. By comparison, the Baltimore Ravens offense only uses it about approximately 57% of the time. And so, honestly, you got to give credit to your coach. His offense is creating easy looks. It's something the Baltimore Ravens players have been very vocal about. In that style of offense, you have to communicate constantly. And that's, again, why I'm so excited, because Baltimore doesn't give up big plays usually. And, of course, that's what San Fran's been doing all season. Did y'all see about Roquan's gift to the Ravens D today?
No.
Roquan Smith gifted the entire Ravens defense customized Versace robes. Every single one of them, not with just their names. They're like nicknames, like Beak and Dafe and stuff like that. Apparently he got one, and after he got it, he loved it so much, and someone recommended, to get it for all the guys. And he reached out to Versace, and they did it all with gold embroidery, and even got like the undrafted rookie free agent, the practice squad guys, every single player on the defense. Like, pretty cool little fun thing they did today.
Wow.
That is pretty cool. That is really cool. Okay, so Darwin, we've been talking a lot about MVPs in the Niner community. One, because we got 2 guys that are pretty highly rated, ranked. You could say definitely a lot of people are throwing their names out. If you haven't heard, and I know you have, I know you know the word.
I wonder what the statistical odd is on having 2 simultaneous MVP candidates on one offense. Like, it's like unheard of.
So I didn't write everybody's name down, and I'll probably wait to do that for this weekend show. Hopefully no one beats me to it, but if they do, they do it right. But I went back 35 years. I went from 2023 to 1990, and in the last 35 years, there's been 27 quarterbacks. I do know that there was 1 year in between those 35 years that there was a dual MVP. I also know that there was 8 running backs that was taken, and that's it. So you go to 1990. 1990 was Joe Montana. 1989 was Joe Montana. 1988 was another quarterback. 1987 was, I want to say a wide receiver, if I'm correct. And 86 was defensive tackle Lawrence Taylor. So it's not a award that goes to just any player. You have to be really, really good. And then shout out to my guy. He's a kicker, and he won the MVP, I want to say, in 1982. He was a Redskin kicker, and I'm pretty excited. I gotta memorize his name. But just going through it, I started looking. I was like, wow, this is really cool. But it's really truly a quarterback award. So a lot of the talk,
always influence, quarterback heavy influence.
100%. A lot of people that's talking right now, though, and have brought this up because this could be the Super Bowl preview. If your Lamar Jackson potentially pulls off the game winner, he might get the vote. And it's funny because everybody was talking Dak Prescott a couple of weeks ago. Really all season's been Dak Prescott and a little bit of Brock Purdy in there. Then we lost 3 in a row. Everybody put Brock Purdy back. CMC's been in the run almost the entire time. There's the guy from Miami, the Cheetah. I'm trying to think of his name. And then there was the other guy, Tyreek Hill. Yes. And
honestly, I was so rooting for Tyreek. I was like, guys, if Tyreek breaks 2K, which if y'all don't know, he didn't get to play last week, heartbreaker. Even like that breaks my heart for him. But if he broke 2,000 yards, I've been very vocal about we got to get rid of the quarterback bias. That's deserving of MVP. But CMC, the 1,000, 2,000 total, also hasn't been done in a while. If I'm not mistaken, your boy Brock Purdy leading MVP voting last time I checked, by 200 points. Lamar Jackson been creeping up, like you're talking about. I think 500 underneath. So I think CMC ahead of him in that, but.
So maybe stranger things happened.
Oh, I was gonna say 2019 was the last 1,000 season, and it was CMC when he was with Carolina
Panther.
Yep.
So why didn't CMC get the MVP in 2019?
Was it Cam? No.
Was it Cam Newton?
I don't know. Now we gotta I want to double check that. 2019 MVP. Or you said 2019?
Aaron Rodgers? No, it wasn't Aaron Rodgers. It wasn't Tom Brady. Was it Lamar?
Might have been. Actually, it was. It was
Lamar. Lamar.
It was. Yeah. And I was sitting there going, was it 2018 or 2019 Lamar had the MVP year? 2019. Should have known, honestly. And what's crazy is Lamar's on pace to break all his records. That's what also slightly makes this Christmas game a little special. Lamar only needs 23 more yards to pass his previous career high in season passing yards. He's on pace to have 3,800 passing yards and 900 rushing yards, becoming the first quarterback in NFL history to do so, potentially. So, in certain retrospects, Lamar's having a better MVP year than he did in 2019 under Todd Monken's offense. But, there's still that he's got to have an on-pace game against the Niners defense to start with. And honestly, the fact that y'all got Chase Young is so ridiculous.
I'm blanking on it.
I really thought he was coming to Cleveland, though, so it was a lose-lose for me. I either play him twice a year or I have to play y'all, then play him this year in the critical games. If you don't know, Cleveland was trying so hard to pair him with Myles Garrett, just like how they paired him with Bosa. Sorry, Bryant.
No, you're okay. We're having fun. I was trying to figure it out. When was the dual MVP? And it was 2003.
Really?
It was 2003. It was Peyton Manning and Steve McNair. And it threw me off a little bit because Peyton Manning won in 2003. Then they have Steve McNair above him. And then in 2004, Peyton won it. So I'm trying to look and I'm like, I overlooked it real quick. But in 2003, Steve McNair was a hell of a quarterback. When you got him in with Baltimore, man, you guys came really close. You had Steve Smith and McNair together. And did either one of you guys ever get to see that commercial? That it wasn't a commercial, it was a YouTube video, or it was a little short. And the guy was talking to his kid in the car, and he said Steve Smith's no longer a Carolina Panther.
He just melts, bro. Melts.
Yeah. I felt bad for that little boy. I really did. But shout out to him. He met Steve Smith. So
my heart goes out to Carolina. Carolina fans, I grew up in that region. Just They are pretty fickle, man. Like when their team's doing bad, I feel like no fan base disappears more than Carolina Panther fans. Like, but it's just one of those ones. They had a little bit of time with Cam Newton and Steve Smith, and since when? And I think that's one of those ones. I think David Tepper's the owner of down there in Carolina. That's part of the issue. If you haven't seen a lot of the disturbing reports coming out of Carolina, how much he has tried to interfere with running the organization and simultaneously created issues. It's just heartbreaking for the Panther fans, and they know it. It's like watching Jerry Jones or Al Davis take over their teams.
So, okay, since we got you here, what's your vibes? And David, I want to hear your vibes too. We know Tom Brady is now a member, an owner, whatever you want to call it. He's got some stock in those Las Vegas Raiders. I know he's got stock in the other Las Vegas team that Mark Davis owns. I don't know what the percentage is in the Raiders, but people are saying, well, now he's part owner.
He's a minority owner. Yep, he is a minority owner officially.
So is there any turnaround for the Raiders in the future, or do you think, I mean, what is Tom Brady gaining from becoming a minority owner?
I mean, a percentage check. That money the NFL owners touch is nothing compared to the money Tom Brady made over his career. Even the money Shohei might get paid at the end of his contract makes Brady's career earnings look pretty insignificant. It's a percentage buy-in, you know. A lot of teams are basically essentially stocks, just like anything else. The Green Bay Packers actually are stocks. I don't know if you know that. Like,
yes,
there is no official owner. But so with Tom Brady, of course, bringing the name to the Raiders with the brand new stadium. I don't know if I actually got to drive by that stadium before when I was out there in Colorado. It's beautiful. And even Marlon Humphrey, our cornerback, got to tour it in the offseason. And he was like, man, I kind of wish I could play there a little bit. Like, just being honest. So I think it's more of a money thing. I don't know. Tom Brady been talking a lot of smack on social media as well, especially regarding, I don't know if you saw the safety from the Steelers hit on Michael Pittman of the Colts. Tom Brady been talking a lot of smack on social media. I'm interested to see where the coaching goes there, though. Antonio Pierce spoiled his season.
David, what do you think? Tom Brady, becoming a Raider, and is he going to bring like the winning mentality back to, dare I say, Oakland? Oh wait, no, they're in Las Vegas, right? The Nomads.
Tom Brady might be the reason Mike. I can't say Mike. That's the Dolphins. And shout out to the guy too. He's really taking a hold of the lifestyle down there.
Oh, I love
Josh
him as a head
McDaniels.
coach,
Tom Brady could be the reason why Josh McDaniels got fired, because he's a good coordinator. He's not head coach material.
Mm-hmm.
Probably straight up Mark Davis, you got to go a different direction here. And it could actually bring something else. It could bring something else to the equation down there, because Mark Davis, he just doesn't seem. His dad owned the team. And he's trying to carry on the legacy, but your dad had this phrase, and it's just win, baby. And since Mike took over, they really haven't done much. So
I can't believe Josh McDaniels still got a head coaching job. He was one of the primary people that got caught in Spygate, New England. He went to Denver. Denver started off, I think, on a 6-game win streak. They got caught taping y'all's practice. He got fired by the Broncos. How did he get another head coaching job? Can we talk about that? What messages does he have from what group chat with what owner to get a head coaching job again? That's what I want to know. Especially when there were a lot of good head coaching candidates over these past years.
He's a good offensive coordinator, though. He really is. If he has a good quarterback, though, he had Tom Brady. Then he goes to, Oakland, and he had Derek Carr, and something happened there. Derek Carr, leaves the team. He gets cut, leaves the team, goes to the Aints, and they're the Aints tonight, folks, because, they lost. So, and then he signs his guy, the guy he has experience with from New England, James Richard Garoppolo, and that didn't work out.
My thing is, I agree. I think he is a great offensive coordinator. I think he is brilliant in play design and concepts and executing them on play day. However, I think, like Belichick, maybe he developed an ego. I think he thinks he can run his, and I totally get it, man. I'm the same type of mindset. I think I can run my system with no bodies as long as they fit my system and I can make it work. Garoppolo, bad signing. Jacoby Myers, bad signing. They just signed Hunter. It made no sense. My boy Hunter Renfrow from Saukastee grew up in the same area, like the same exact town, played against them. Like, signed him to a 3-year, $15 million extension, and then signed Jacoby Myers, who plays the exact same position and took all of his snaps. Like, it just seems like he started bringing in all his guys, kind of like you're talking about, and a lot of his guys didn't work out. Which that's been one of my big problems with New England recently, has been some of their free agent acquisitions. What's your thoughts, Bryant?
So, on the whole, Josh McDaniels, Mike, what's his name? McDaniels, there's McMichaels.
Josh McDaniels.
McMichaels is
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
Yep, Josh McDaniels. And then Mike is down in Miami. MM.
Yeah. So Mike is really cool. Let's start with him. When he first was in Santa Clara, everybody was really, really making fun of him. I was in the chats. I seen him in the press conference. It's just the way he talked. A lot of people were like, this guy, and then, maybe that was just his personality, and people started getting a little bit more used to seeing him in the press conference. But he was getting ripped pretty hard on just him as a person. But then you don't know everything because you're only seeing just like what people are seeing right here. You're just seeing this, but you're not seeing us talk behind stage and what we do and what our chemistry is behind. And that's where he really launched and really held this team, took it to another level too. And sure, he had a lot of speed too when he was our offensive coordinator. But truly, when you have Kyle Shanahan, do you really have an offensive coordinator? And that was the big knock on him. Everybody was like, he's not really an offensive coordinator. Well, he goes to Miami and takes some speed with him and gets some more people with him that had speed. And they turn somebody who thinks Tua, everybody thinks Tua should really retire because he's one more hit away from, being in Katoma, being So with that happening, but just the whole swag of him, he's in Miami, and everybody knows Miami's, just like it's Miami.
I love
right?
watching all the videos of him, like hiding his plays and covering his face, and like the camera runs up on him, he just takes off. I love watching him. I love his energy.
I like his style. He's got the gold frames. He's he goes up to the reporters at halftime. He takes off running. He's trying to beat everybody else into the locker room. He playing coaching like a little kid, but he's coaching.
I'll be honest, I've applied for some positions with the Miami Dolphins at their stadium. I'll be honest, I wanted to be part of that atmosphere a little bit. Yeah,
and it does. It looks cool. But as far as what happened with the Patriots coach, who coordinator who can't ever get away from Bill Belichick, he did. He went to Denver, and it seems like he destroyed Denver. He had a good opportunity to do something there, and then that fell apart on him. Then he had opportunities to go other places, like our chat right here said. I think it's one of your chat members.
Yeah.
Dab, right here. I don't know how to say his name. Dabney Offerman. He pulled out on the Colts too, and that's true. So
I forgot about that.
Then he goes to the Raiders, and the only reason he really went to the Raiders is because of the damn emails, right? They wanted to get rid of Snyder.
Can we start a conspiracy theory? All right,
Let's
guys, put on the tinfoil hat.
Real quick, everybody, stick around. Takes a second. All right.
10. Bryant Culp's got his tinfoil hat on in preparation for another one of DarwinsRaven's deep NFL conspiracies. What if the different assistant coaches of the Patriots staff and different members of the Patriot organization were seeding out in a deep reach program to destroy other teams and gain insight? Now, hear me out. Josh McDaniels, after getting cheated, screwed the Colts, screwed the Raiders, and screwed the Broncos over. But it doesn't end there, guys. Bill O'Brien traded DeAndre Hopkins away from the Houston Texans back in the day in his prime for nothing and single-handedly destroyed the Houston Texans. I personally once had a theory that they were spying on our draft room when they took Dante Hightower. Subsequently, the year after that, they fired someone from our scouting department that was tied to the New England Patriots organization as a recent hire. Boom.
So that makes a lot of sense. And let's tie it all together. So we're going to go back to the Raiders firing Gruden. They fired Gruden. What happened really is they let Gruden go. They traded him. They traded him to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They kept his coaching staff, his best friend, Bill Callahan, right, who really, really sabotaged the Raiders at the most pinnacle point of their season. The night before the draft, before the Super Bowl, they go and change the plays. They change the plays, and their bipolar center wigs out. And you guys all know, John Lynch wins the Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, world champions, right? So then John Gruden stayed around for a little while. And it's really sad because he wasn't the coach who built that super team. It was Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy, who went to the Colts, who also built a super team there. Now, we go back to John Gruden. He went into announcing, right? Everybody liked him up there in the booth, but he wanted to coach. And he always wanted to coach for the Raiders, right? He didn't like how that changed. And he didn't go back to the Raiders until Al Davis passed away, right? Rest in peace, Al Davis. Raider Nation, we know you're there. Al Davis is a funny guy, too. Never met him, but I tell you this is how he drafted. He took the newspaper out. He looked at all the prospects. He took his finger, and he went down the 40 time. And whoever had the fastest 40 time, he stopped right there. And that was draft. That was who the Raiders were drafting.
Right. That's
Sebastian Janikowski can really move. You don't believe me? I'll tell you what. So everything happened, right? And then there was some emails that had happened, and we don't like Dan Snyder as an owner, and the rest of the league wants to get rid of him. And it's really Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell wanted him gone. So then they go through these emails that got released through the organization, right? It was like somebody told on somebody, right? And then how does somebody who's not even a part of that organization have anything to do with that situation? Those were emails, private emails that were, emailed, like I email you, Levi, I email you, David. That shouldn't be released, right? Those are our private jokes, even if they're wrong, even if they're bullshit. We're horrible people because we can't say it.
Do you know why they got? Hold on. Do you know why they actually got brought up? Like, I want to make sure that's clear, how bad that owner does for the Commanders. He was involved in so much stuff. He hid money from the NFL. He falsified records. He exploited women and the cheerleaders on private trips and basically tried to pimp them out. And that's how really all that started. That actually, one woman suing him over all that is how all of it started. All of it. And then they started going, wait, what's this in this email? Wait, hold on. They sent us this, right? Because his and the thing, it's a common law strategy where they just try to flood you with documents, and probably in that flood of documents, they send something they shouldn't have, which opened another investigation. Sorry.
No, you're great. You're great. But with all of that, right? Still, there's 65,000 emails, and they're only going to focus on the ones that John Gruden wrote about. Where's everybody else? You're telling me nobody else had any bad jokes? Nobody else had any, rude words about the owner, the
Robert Kraft didn't tell them Where to get the massages?
I mean, come on. So you wanted Gruden out. That's what happened. Gruden called the commissioner. He called him gay. The commissioner didn't like that. And then he got him out, right? So now Gruden's no longer with the NFL, suing the NFL. They want to settle with him. Why do they want to settle with him? And then this season, right, all the craziness, right? He's no longer the coach of Oakland or Las Vegas or LA, wherever they play at. He went down to New Orleans and was helping Derek Carr down there before the season started. He was potentially going to be his quarterback coach for the Saints this year. So if the league wants him out so bad, why was he able to be involved with all of that? What it's just they had appointed out somebody. They got rid of Gruden. So then by them getting rid of Gruden, and this is where we're tying it all back together, right? Because Gruden lost that championship game and that spun and started the Patriots dynasty, right? So now you got a kicker who made a kick because there was a tuck roll, a fumble that happened, right? Now that quarterback who beat that champion, that team to get to the Super Bowl and then continue, right? He's now the owner of that team. That just seems a little bit like, is that pouring salt on the wound or something for some of these fans? Because like I know like a lot of fans that are Raider fans and they hate Tom Brady. And now Tom Brady is their owner or like minority folks. What do you think, David? What do you got?
When it comes to Dan Snyder, dude, the guy's a piece of garbage, man. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat anything. He's a horrible human being. He does not deserve to own an NFL team. This goes back a long time now, and those emails that John Gruden sent to him, that wasn't public. That was their private jokes going on, and there may have been some things that a lot of folk don't agree with going on there. And, things they shouldn't say, but those were private emails, not meant for the public too, and
yeah,
it makes me wonder how much more of that type of stuff goes on that we don't know about. How many of these coaches, how many of these executives, how many of them have done anything like that? And it's just not coming out, not being talked about. Right?
It's not right. And I'm not saying what happened.
He's right. Epstein didn't kill himself.
I'm not saying what No, you're fine. But what Snyder did wasn't right, and I'm not going to say it was right or not. But we know, guys. It's like you are a human being. Other people, they have feelings. They want to do certain things. They want to have fun. They are where they are, and the next thing you know, you have the heck. You got an ice cube.
It's an ice cube in the shape of a rose for my whiskey. Yeah, it comes in this fun little silicone mold.
Fancy tonight.
I know, we getting fancy for y'all on here. We got the crown.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send you a bottle of the Gold Bar. I want your opinion on that. I seen your show the other day. David, what's your opinion on the Gold Bar? I'm a fan.
It's good. It's good whiskey. It really is. It's good.
I'm being horrible.
And I'm not a big whiskey guy. I'm a tequila guy.
Oh,
so
keep your clothes on, David McNiner.
There's a reason I'm a tequila guy. Clothes are overrated.
That's right.
If you're ever at a nudist beach, you'll catch David McNiner.
Well, but no, this is just funny though. What they did with bringing in McDaniels, I don't see really why they did it. They wanted to say, "Oh, Carr is going to do this and that," and then they brought Adams in, and just to me, it's the Raider way, I guess. It's just something that you would expect out of the Raiders. They make a splash hit, but it's just not enough. They bring in Devontae Adams, right? Who else did they bring in that was a really big wide receiver that didn't help them at all? Randy Moss. I mean, like it's the Raider way, right? So
The real thing was that Devontae Adams and Derek Carr played together in college. That was their dream to come to play together in the NFL, and they finally got it to happen. And Josh McDaniels like, nah, not my guy, Jimmy G. Like, what? Like, and that's why, y'all, I was very vocal. Like, I put up at the free trade deadline. I was like, free my boy Hunter Renfrow. I literally joked. I said, send him to the Patriots. Bill Belichick will take a young white slot wide receiver and turn him into something.
Hey, I'm hearing it. It's funny. You get players that played together in college, and they have good chemistry, and they like each other and stuff. But it doesn't necessarily work out. You can't always run two players out or a bunch of guys out there on the field and say, "Okay, run this playbook," and it be successful, and then give them a different playbook and say, "Run this one." So, but you would think, Carr would have done a little bit better.
I think I've told y'all about this. It's a heartbreaking story. I grew up with the guy. He's one of the few guys I grew up with that just every sport we played together. He was always just instinctually a step better than me. But this man, we used to go play tackle football out on Doug Shaw Stadium. That's Myrtle Beach High Stadium. It's also a public field where the Myrtle Beach Sea Dogs used to play, the former MLS team. And this dude would be smoking a cigarette on his knee, launching balls from the 50 into the end zone. On time, he had such a natural feel. And I'm telling you, I played up to semi-pro football myself. I walked on to CCU. I could never play quarterback. It's, hey, my boy David McNiner with the 1800 coconut shot.
In the skull glass. You see that?
Love it. Love it. But, and the thing is this, it didn't matter who ran the route. He just naturally, he had such a perfect rhythm. And it breaks my heart. I tried to get him to go walk on college teams with me. And, now he's made some bad choices in life. And there's not really a lot of coming back from it, sadly.
Yeah.
But Tyler Thigpen used to play in our flag league. I don't know if y'all remember Tyler Thigpen.
I think I heard his name. Did he play for the Eagles?
Came out of Coastal Carolina University. He played for the Dolphins and was it the Broncos as well? I believe Dolphins and Broncos, if I'm not mistaken. But no, it was the Chiefs and Dolphins before Mahomes times.
Was he number 11? I can't remember what his number was.
But dude man used to play in our flag league back in the day. Like, we got like weird talent back home, like weird small school talent. Like, fun fact though, he couldn't play quarterback in the flag league. No one could catch passes from him. And that's that difference between like your buddy playing, back in the day. When I walked onto CCU, a freshman quarterback put a ball in my chest so hard it left a deep bruise on my sternum. And I learned after that day, you catch with your hands, boy. Like, you don't chest catch again when you got like NFL level talent arms throwing into your chest. Like, you will get hurt if you don't have pads on.
Yeah, most definitely. There's a pretty cool video. It's got you guys know the secret jobs, like the bosses on the job site kind of thing. Well, they did one with Jared Goff, and he went to a college football team, and he tried out he was like, "Oh, I'm a transfer." And he had,
was that at Penn State or Michigan? Like, I know that video you're talking about.
Yeah, and it was really cool. But you could see the difference of him and his athleticism. This is Jared Goff compared to the other college. And they're like, "Oh boy," all the players want to start running routes for him and stuff, and you're like, "This guy looks good."
When he's just like flicking it, and it's 40 yards. And that's the thing. People don't understand. The NFL field is wider too. It's why the speed really makes a difference. And so when you've got to really deliver a ball to the outside the hash marks from the opposite hash mark, the arm strength that requires is next level. I couldn't even come close. I'm telling you right now, even if I trained every day, I don't think naturally my arm would ever even allow me to get to that level. It just takes natural God-given talent, like especially, and then a little bit of work for the accuracy.
Well, guys, I think we've had a lot of fun. and I think it's almost that time to say goodbye
We
because
barely talked about that.
no, it's just that time. You
I
know, we
know.
all have fun.
Oh,
No,
come
no.
on.
You guys want
Let's get Levi's score prediction. You know, I don't do one. I got us winning by 1 point.
Man,
let's
that's
get
my
Levi's score
prediction, bro. I talked about this the other day. That's literally, I think this game, despite both defenses, I think because, of course, Lamar has a chance to make history. I didn't get a chance to talk about it. Justin Madubuike currently tied the NFL record, 11 straight games with a half a sack. That is held by Chris Jones, Trey Hendrickson, Jared Allen, and Sean Ellis. So if he gets at least a half a sack in this game, again, NFL history is being made. He will hold the lead on that. With that, I think this goes to a ballsy 2-point conversion last second for the win. I think it's going to be Ravens 29-28. I think they make that big call to avoid overtime on Christmas, and that's what they do. Like, go big or go home, basically.
What do you think, David? What do you think? What's your points?
What's my points? Hey, I'm not giving. I say we win by 1 point. It could be 7-6.
He's
it could be
predicting
21-20.
The 2-point conversion.
it could be 71-70. I just said we win by 1 point.
Yep.
I highly doubt that'll happen.
Oh man,
the 21-20 or maybe even 7-6 seems more realistic.
Of course, if the Niners win, if Brock Purdy goes out there and just dominates this Ravens defense, it's got to or Christian McCaffrey has a 100 game. I'm gonna tell you right now, the one last fact, I am terrified of the outside run. It's something I've been talking about for weeks. Kyron Williams just put 114 up on us. If Kyron can do that, I'm terrified of what the number one run blocking line in the 49ers is going to do. Terrifying.
I really have fun talking to both of you guys. We were talking, we were going to keep it a little short, because it's a little bit late, and everybody wants to, maybe go watch a Christmas movie or whatnot. I get it. I got kids, and I know that's what they're doing now. So I'm going to, we're going to call it. And Levi, you want to do something Saturday morning? Where I'll send you the link. We can continue this on. We'll go a little bit more detail on the game. That'll give us a little bit more time to get a little bit more closer to it, and start getting more excited about it. But again, this is like me and David's guest show. We bring people on like you and other people. Love to have you on again. We like to just cut it up and have a good time. And it
was a good time.
Conspiracy theory or whatnot. It is what it is. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you all for coming. I'm gonna put the links in my description later. Please go back, like, subscribe, share, and I will definitely see you guys in the chats as well. So, David, what do you got going on tomorrow? We got the Friday night show. We're still working on our details. We're more likely we're gonna get we have 3 or 4 people that might host, so we're gonna go from there and see who's best can do it. And, just go from there. It's 7:00. Levi, you want to jump in? Any one of us will send you the link. It's always fun having you.
So is it going to be who's the mostest sober?
What, for tomorrow night?
Oh boy. Yeah, we'll figure out that. We'll go from there. Because a couple of people might be wanting to go Christmas shopping. I told Tony, take the car and go. I'll be here.
I might be in the gym, actually, guys.
That was pretty neat seeing you the other day on the rock wall. I was like, what's this dude doing?
I know I might set it up a little better. I don't know. I've been thinking about doing a lot of different content. I think it'd be fun to do a Q&A while I do a workout.
But again, thank you, Levi. Thank you, David, for coming. And please, everybody, check out DarwinsRaven, and he's really blowing up. He does a lot of cool stuff, but on his on the games, he calls the game, and he's really fair. That's the best way to say it. He's a Raven fan, but he calls the game fair, and he's really knowledgeable. That's why we wanted to bring him on as well, so we could get some of those good facts and have a lot of good energy. Guys,
I love being on the show.
We're always here. You're always welcome, and we'll be back. Raven, is there like we always say something like "Let's go faithful" or "Stay faithful" or "Go Niners." But is there something that like the Ravens flock actually says? Like I know Tom Grassi has a Papa Kaka or what
I know I'm trying. Like it's something I'm working on, guys. I promise. It's also like YouTube wants me to officially name my audience as well. Like case in point, you have the Grassi posse. But the Raven already has the flock. So I don't know. I've had some suggestions like Raven, Haven. I don't know. I'm trying to find something, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Awesome. Well, I like to end it by saying let's go, Niners or stay faithful. And then David's got a couple fun sayings. David,
Well,
carry us out.
Go Niners. And as Corey Davis would always say, F all the 31 other teams. Sorry, Levi.
My boy Corey. Hey, no worries.
It's all in love, though. It's all in love. Corey would say it with a smile.
Exactly.
With that, we'll see you maybe tomorrow night.
Yep.